So today we're going to be talking about a plant that I actually just stumbled across on accident. It's actually kind of funny the way that I found it, but I won't get into any details. But it's a great plant. It's a red plant, and I know there's a lot of people out there that love red plants, including myself. So I know you guys are really going to like this plant, and that plant is Ludwigia Dark Red. Now you guys know that I've grown Ludwigia before in my 50 gallon actually when it was set up as a display tank, as a planted display tank. And you guys know how big that Ludwigia that I planted in there got, in just a short amount of time too, I should say. Ludwigia is by far one of the fastest growing plants out there, and Ludwigia Dark Red is nothing different, than Ludwigia repens that was in my tank. It grows equally as fast if you give it CO2 and good light, nutrients, of course, and nutrient-rich substrate. I would say, however, that typical with pretty much all plants, if you deny this plant, Ludwigia Dark Red, that is, high light and CO2, you just give it nutrients and good substrate, and a little bit of light, it will grow fast, but not that fast. So just keep that in mind, because some people have asked me before, like, you told me this plant was going to grow so fast, and I'm like, okay, well, what are you using to grow it? Well, I got a Coral Life light fixture, 10,000K bulb. I got a 800-foot tall tank, and there's barely. Okay, you get the point, right? Give this plant, CO2, nutrients, good substrate. Pretty much just follow the rules as with any proper good planted tank, and you will get really, really fast growth. But, it will generally still grow pretty fast in a tank with just nutrients and good light and, of course, substrate. Now, my planet holding tank, I grow it in silica sand, and the only way I'm able to do that is because I dose a lot of nutrients and I use a CO2 injection system. So don't go thinking that, oh, I can just throw some sand in my tank and grow this plant, it'll be perfectly fine. That really doesn't happen for everybody. Okay, so that's how I'm able to compensate for using sand, this silica sand, because it doesn't contain any nutrients. So that's what I grow it in, and it grows really, really fast. It produces roots pretty much all the way up the stem, which can be somewhat attractive to some of you hobbyists out there. I know there's a lot of people out there that are really particular about how their planet tank looks, and you really don't want to see an exposed root system. So this plant does have an exposed root system most of the time because the roots do grow so high up from the stem. I'm not sure if you can achieve hiding those roots by continuously trimming the top of that until roots finally don't grow, which I don't even know if they won't grow after a certain point of so many trimmings, but just go ahead and try it, I guess. But obviously in the beginning, this plant may not be the best choice for somebody that's looking for a plant that they can put in their tank and have everything look perfect, just a stem and a plant, no exposed roots, no nothing. It may not be the best plant for that type of aquarium. Now obviously the biggest draw, the biggest attraction to this plant is its color. For some reason there is this link between high demand and red colored plants. Everybody likes red colored plants for some reason. I myself kind of like more along the lines of a green plant because I just think it makes a tank look more foresty and stuff, but there are people out there that just love red colored plants. So if you are looking for a red colored plant, Ludwigia Dark Red does stay true to its name, and it does turn a dark red color very easily. And what I mean by easily is, usually with most red plants, you have to provide them a lot of nutrients, really good substrate, CO2, high light, in order to achieve a red coloration within the plant. But I've noticed with Ludwigia Dark Red, you don't really need to do that because I've grown it in my 50-gallon tall when I wasn't dosing CO2 in this tank. It was just, I was using RO water, a little bit of Chem Equilibrium, which just has some minerals and stuff to make the RO water, appropriate for a planet tank so it doesn't, literally melt plants, because RO water is pretty much toxic to plants because it doesn't have anything in it. And that's pretty much all I was using. No nutrients, no CO2. The light at the time was just one Kessel A150W Amazon Sun, and that really didn't light the tank that well. So the tank was actually rather dim, and believe it or not, Ludwigia Dark Red still turned a red color, and it still grew fast. It was crazy. So this plant will turn red. I'm confident to say this plant will turn red in pretty much any aquarium environment, obviously given that you give it, you know, the basic borderline requirements to grow plants, period, in an aquarium. Now, as far as its growth habits, as I mentioned earlier, it does produce roots quite high up the stem. And also, when you trim it, it does produce, I would say, about 3 or 4 branching stems off of every cut. So if you really want to create a thick wall of this stuff in the back of your aquarium or wherever in your aquarium, just trim it a lot and it'll produce more stems at that cut. So when they grow together, it'll appear fuller. If you really don't want to achieve, you know, that really thick bushy look, you just want, you know, that stem kind of look where they're just single stems, you know, growing out of certain areas of your tank, just don't trim it. Pretty much just trim it as soon as it reaches the water line of your aquarium, and that way when it does branch out, you know, you don't see anything visible at the bottom. So but for those of you that want this plant to grow thick and to grow bushy, just trim it, and it'll grow branches and they'll all intertwine and it'll look like a really bushy plant, and it'll be red, so it'll be a really beautiful bushy plant. So in conclusion, Ludwigia Dark Red is a really beautiful plant. The color is absolutely fantastic for anybody that appreciates red coloration in their planted tank. And it is a very, very simple to grow plant. And it is available on my website, jacobsaquarium.com. Just know that I get shipments of it every week and it sells out extremely fast. Ever since I put it on the website, I haven't been able to keep up with demand. So, you know, as I mentioned earlier, high demand plants and red color, you know, they go together. People love red color plants. So don't expect this plant to be always available on my website because it is in such high demand because it's of its beauty. You know, it's just a really beautiful plant for any planted aquarium. So thanks everybody so much for watching this video. I really appreciate it, and thank you to everybody that has bought plants from my website. We just actually passed our 500th order last week, and I can't believe it. Of course, I couldn't have done it without you guys, so thank you so much. And let's keep it going so that I can continue to provide great, awesome, and hopefully new aquatic plants to you guys, to the Planet Tank community. And okay, I forgot to mention one last thing. I will let you guys go, I promise, after I tell you this, okay? People have been asking me a lot about the Tropica plants. They're like, you're out of stock of all the Tropica plants, but I want some. They're snail free, they're algae free. Why don't you have some? People are like going crazy, you know, but okay, relax, take a deep breath. Ooh, I can breathe better ever since I quit smoking. I never noticed that. Duh. While I can't give you guys the exact details of when exactly I'll be getting Tropica plants back in stock, I can tell you that I will be getting them soon, and they will be available soon on jacobsaquarium.com. So don't worry, they haven't gone away forever. It's just, you know, I'm working on it, okay? Thanks everybody so much for watching this video. I really appreciate it, and don't forget to comment below if you'd like to see me say the greeting to, you know, that I say in pretty much all my videos in your native language. Comment that language below and I will definitely consider it, okay? I love you guys so much. Thanks for watching. Have fun with your tanks, and I will see you next time.